Hello and welcome, members, to another Healing Wednesday Circle of 12. I am Lee Carroll.
And I'm Monica Morani.
And the two of us, as you know, will present this program. And again, we thank you, members, so much for signing up and being part of this program, which we do every single week. Now, there's always those coming in for the first time, and I'd like to welcome them. And also to give a little saying or spiel or announcement that I always do.
Well, I think it's important that you do that.
You know, I do too, because if you're here for the first time and you're having trouble receiving this streaming, you should know that streaming is not like watching a video. There's a little more, I would say, power needed for your computer and also for the internet. And all of those things can mess up. And we've had that happen, and so have you, and you know what I'm talking about. If this picture starts to freeze, if it stutters, if the audio is poor or bad, it can be really frustrating since you have, wanted to be here and you've arrived for it and you want to see the program as we present it in high definition and accurate and proper. So what we have suggested to you, if you haven't heard this before, please don't be frustrated, because there is a replay an hour and a half after this show. We record it. It is put for you into your members portal, and you should know where that is. If you don't, you'll receive an email of where it is. And you can watch it cleanly without the stuttering. So this is what I wanted to let you know, and I always will for every show. I also want to talk about the ones that we have that we try to present to you, and when I say try, in the fact that we're always trying to find healers. And so we're going to say this is going to be a call for healers, and if you haven't heard this before, I'd like you to now. If you are a certified healer, medical doctor, nurse, with a perspective on alternate healing methods, we're looking for you. You can apply to be a speaker on this program if you wish to, on this Healing Wednesday, and we'll give you a little application there in the chat room, and if you're a good fit, we'll give you an email to welcome you. It helps if you already have a following or a practice or a website, so that other people can easily find what you have. So these are kind of the parameters. We'll drop the application into the chat box. It's really easy. Just fill it out and send it back. Also, please feel free to forward this to your friends who also might be healers that we don't know that you know. And in that way, we can then find some of these wonderful healers that people have not heard about yet, or have processes that are wonderful and they're just not out there. That's the whole reason for this. And Monica and I are finding many are appreciating things that they haven't seen or heard from really outstanding people that are helping humanity with some great things.
And I think what I like about what we're sharing with everyone is that healing is a word that can mean many things to many people. Now, often we tend to think it's just a biological need of our body that needs a healing of the elbow or some muscle or some organ.
Or some disease.
Yeah, but healing is also emotional as well, isn't it?
Oh, well, I would think that of the healers that we've had just recently and the ones we're lining up, we're looking at a lot of emotional healing and energy work that deals just with that. Things that are stuck, in our consciousness and subconsciousness that are creating some of these things.
Because it's all connected, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Consciousness is the driver of what creates biology and reality.
It is true. It is the driver of it. And what I wanted to say was that Monica and I work with these healers. We start checking them out and reading them, looking at them on YouTube before we ever present them to you. So we are excited about that which is coming up, that which is happening today, the interview today. And so many of these that we're discovering that we both know and we don't know, it's exciting for us to hook into it. But most exciting is to say, wait until the people hear this.
Yes.
Because so many don't know of certain things. Because it really is profound. All right.
Okay.
What we do now...
This is our fun part, actually.
This is our fun part.
I enjoy
now, wait a minute.
Part.
The last thing was fun, too. I mean,
the last thing is the most profound, enjoyable part, but this is fun.
All right. What we do is to talk about some experiences we've had. I've had many, many years to do this. This is my 31st year of channeling Kryon. I've been traveling for at least 20 of those years and gone around the world with many of the team members. Funny things happen, profound things happen. And so we want to bring you both of those just because we have so many of them. And we're aware that without this time, you'd never hear them.
Yeah.
Now, some of you, after you listen to us, say, I wish I hadn't heard them. So, because,
I like to think of it where it's family that's gathered here. So that's why we do want to share parts of our journey with you, because you're our family.
So let me talk about a family member, Robert Coxon. So I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to talk about Robert Coxon. If you don't know who Robert Coxon is, he's a profound musician, composer, teacher, almost professor of music. And we have had him with us for decades now as a presenter on the road. When he's not doing the things with us, he's doing TV shows and scoring. He is just a commensurate musician. And so we have a lot of stories of Robert Coxon. So, Robert, if you're watching, and I hope you are, you might remember this one. Years and years ago, and I think, Monica, even before I knew you.
It was well before you knew me.
Yes, we were in France, and we've gone to France numbers of times, and this was, I think, the first time. And one of the things you want to do when you go to Paris is to see the Louvre. It is, do I have to tell you, it's astonishing. And one of the things they have, much like the Met has in New York, but bigger, is they have an Egyptian section. And in that Egyptian section, they have all kinds of archives and all manner of things. I remember the time I went with Greg Braden, and he was explaining all of them. This was even before that. And I was there with Robert Coxon, and we were in a specific part of the Louvre, and it was the Egyptian part, and we were looking at the sarcophaguses. Now, these are the containers that surround the other containers that pharaohs are buried in. And if not even pharaohs, other important Egyptians are buried there. And they've come right from Egypt, and they're ancient. And we were looking at them, and it's absolutely fascinating. And we were looking around, and Robert says to me, as the commensurate musician, he said, Lee, did you know that the sarcophaguses were all tuned to A440? And I said, no, I didn't, Robert. I mean, really? Is this possible? I mean, how would you know? And Robert looks around. Always remember this moment. Now, you're in the Louvre, right? Okay. And there's cameras, security, people standing around, the docents, the guards. They're all there. But for a moment, they weren't, or at least all but the cameras. Robert looks around and he says, I can prove it. He walks over to the sarcophagus and with his fist hits it with all his might, like that. And it resounds to A40. He goes, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought we were going to be arrested right there. I thought we're going to Louvre jail. Louvre jail.
I would think so. I mean, you don't just walk up in a museum and pound it.
No. And I said, Robert, don't do that again. I believe you. Right. That's one Robert Coxon story.
You know what's interesting about that? I'm not from a music background. You are. So you are attuned to these things. But yes. I clearly remember last year in 2019 when we had a Kryon channel in the King's Chamber. These are the part of the words of what Kryon said in that channel was, did you realise that 440 vibrations per second is the note that all symphony orchestras tune to worldwide? Well, of course, I didn't know that. And then Kryon went on to say that this room, the King's Chamber, is designed for 440 cycles.
So to resonate like a shower, if you hit that note in that room, it will enhance that, make it louder.
And Kryon said it doesn't stop there. Of course, what Robert just proved to you, Kryon said the sarcophagi taken to the museums, they all resound to 440 cycles, and that every single designer in Egypt knows that who builds these things, that the rooms must resonate to this. That was pretty profound channel.
I'm not sure that they all do, but they do in the pyramid. And I remember talking to a guide, and not to get into this because it's a big thing to get into, but the Giza pyramid, the Grand Pyramid there is so different than the other temples because you don't have the hieroglyphs there, you don't have many of the other things there that you have in the other temples. I remember taking a guide aside and said, what is here that is so different? And he looked right at me and he says, this was designed for sound.
Yeah.
This is one of the Egyptian educated guides that was good. So I didn't go much further than that, but it goes along with the channeling.
Yeah. There's amazing stories about the King's Chamber.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them I just remembering now is that there is a gentleman, John Stuart Reid, who does cymatics, and it's about looking at the vibrations of sounds and everything else. And he tells the story of going into the King's Chamber. He had permission to do all this recording and filming, and he nearly didn't make it because his back was in so much pain. And he managed to struggle to get into the King's Chamber, and they recorded I think they were toning in there, and he was recording it. He had a healing.
And most people...
His back healed, and he was able to walk out of that chamber pain-free.
If you've never seen pictures of it and you just hear the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid, you're thinking of something enormous. It isn't. It's just a small room in the middle of that pyramid. Barely would fit maybe 20 people in it. So this is it's different than you think, and it's really startlingly profound.
I think it shows the knowledge that the ancients had about the importance of, let's call it vibrations, because that's what Kryon said. It was 440 vibrations per second. So it's more than just sound. It's about the vibration and the resonance.
I have one more Coxon story.
Okay.
Do we have time for it?
Yeah.
Okay. This is, I don't know if you're going to like this or not, but these are things we remember. So it's not an indictment of any country or anything else, but we were in Belgium. And we were at a restaurant. Now, Belgium's a small country. Restaurant we were at was kind of out of the way, and we were between countries, stopping in Belgium, going someplace. And in Belgium, they speak French. Now, French is not just French for each country has a different kind, and different accents, and even some different words. You might not know this, but France has a kind of French, and Belgium has another, Switzerland another, Canada another. We were with a team that had all of those, and we all speak English because I don't speak any other languages. And so all of our team speaking English, we go into the restaurant.
You speak American.
I speak American. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We get into this. Is Australian English kind of. You know, we all came from the same source.
I just say that because for people in Belgium, they would hear that it was American.
They would hear it was American.
Yeah.
True. Although we had French with us, we had Canadians with us, French Canadians. They were speaking their brand of English too. In other words, all the waiters heard was English. And so what we discovered later is that they were having a bad day. And they were off to the side complaining about us and our group. These people come in, they want this, they want that, we don't like them, whatever. We didn't know this until later, but Robert Coxon, who speaks French, Canadian French, was hearing it all. He's a musician. And so he's tuned to hearing things outside of the conversations you're having at the table, like the music that's playing and all that. He was hearing it all. And he was like up to here, he said, because they were not friendly to us. They were not nice to us. And finally, Robert stands up. When they're serving us, Robert stands up and slams his hand on the table. I remember, bam, so all the plates go like this.
And everyone's probably gone,
go
oh
like
my gosh,
this.
what's
and
happening?
all the waiters and everything else. And in wonderful French, he says, these people are my family and my friends, and they deserve better than you're saying about them. And he sits down.
Wow.
And there was this silence. We all got free desserts. That is a true Coxon story.
Wow.
So these are just, I'm not sure it was funny as much as it was memorable.
I think it might have just rattled their cage a bit. Like sometimes it's that classic thing of when you write nasty comments on Facebook or whatever, you think that no one can see you for what, it's easier to do it that way
yes, it is.
than to do it face to face, isn't it? So
yes,
I think that just kind of, we should always be accountable. I think that's what it is. It's accountability, isn't it? We should be accountable
Don't say anything
for
unless you
our
say it
actions.
to somebody's face.
Yeah,
Right.
I think
and
so.
if you have criticisms, and we tell people, it's fine. You can disagree, but you can